Hello and welcome to the Gauge Look and another Radious Total War Warhammer 2 unit overview. And today, I reckon you can guess who it's about. It's about this big bastard. No, it's not. It's about the Chaos generally. But look at this beautiful colic Sun Eater with some pyramids in the background. Could you get anything more picturesque? Okay, so the Chaos are quite an interesting one. Again, let's just set the steer here. We're not particularly focusing on lore. I'm comfortable as long as things are lore friendly, in the sense that they could be touched on at any point. I don't need them to have an example in an actual army book, as long as they're somewhere in all the novellas, novels, so forth, I don't mind, and that's generally what the Radious mod forces. So we've got a full stack this time, full 20 units. There is a few more. I was going to narrow them down a little bit, but some of the Chaos units are pretty cool. There is a lot of God associated units, so I've taken a few of them, but not all of them, so please check out the Radious mod if you want to see more. Okay, so as always, we will start with the melee units, and we will move along talking about them and the descriptions. Oh yeah, you might have noticed that the big beautiful face in the corner is not mine. It is in fact Colec's. My camera is not working today. I'm sure you can deal with it though. Okay, so Chaos Marauder dual weapons. Okay, that's us done with them. They're just a variety of the standard Chaos Marauders. They look very cool. Absolutely love them as always. And they've had a little bit of a boost in the Radious mod. Kurgan Hunters, kind of early on, sort of equivalent to Empire Swordsmen, however slightly better. They have Vanguard deployment, however, they hide, and of course they have Rage. Decent stats, but not exceptional. Crimson Skull Cultists, armour shielded, causes terror, and unbreakable. Fanatical servants of Chaos Gods, these soldiers dedicated their lives to Khorne and its will. So these are sort of mid-tier infantry. They look a lot like Necromancer type units, with a bit of Empire mixed in, which I suppose is what they are. 67 armour with full shielded, not bad. And sorry, I did forget to read about these guys. Kurgan is a term used to describe a race of mighty nomadic horse warriors who dwell under the shadow of Chaos in the vast eastern steppes that borders the Chaos Wastes. Okay, there's the Kurgans. I knew of it. Kurgans, you probably did too. Crimson Skull Cultists, cool units, sort of mid-tier, I like them. Chaos Dwarf Warriors, look at these beautiful bastards. Now, considering the extremely limited amount of Chaos Dwarf assets there is, these guys look amazing. How cool are their masks? Look at this guy. It's like, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. That's what he's saying. So these are armour shielded as you would expect and charged defence against all. These are basically slightly not as good sort of long beard type units as they should be. What to say? Malign, Dark Souled and Merciless. The Uzol Drazazar, Dawizar, or Chaos Dwarfs, as they are known in legend to other peoples of the world, are a warrior race of demon smiths and craftsmen, and they look awesome. And indeed, here's another variety of them. Chaos Dwarf warriors with great weapons, and they look so cool. Look at these helmets. I didn't realise there was that much variety available. Armoured, armour piercing, anti-large. Interesting anti-large weapon type, but very, very cool. I like them a lot. I probably would have made these guys sort of anti-infantry or armour piercing personally, but that's fine. They're still very cool. Chaos Warriors, just a variant of the Chaos Warriors. Again, look very cool. Armoured anti-infantry, but they've got dual weapons. So they don't have the extra shield bonus, but they obviously have extra weapon strength and melee strength. Skullbinders, armoured, anti-large, and Vanguard deployment. These are a very interesting unit type. Often, even though they shouldn't, they seem to outdo Chaos Warriors. And that, I wouldn't say that was anything to do with Radious mod. I think it's more the peculiarities of Total War, but I do often see them doing better in battles than sort of Chaos Warriors, which is a bit strange. The Skullbinders are a warrior elite, a raven caste of howling, blood-mad reavers who fight and kill for the glory of Khorne. There are few who can stand before them in battle, and countless are the skulls that they have laid before the skull throne of Khorne. Great, and their Vanguard deployment, which is just ridiculous. As in, not ridiculous that they shouldn't be, but ridiculous. Okay, followers of Khorne. These guys are insane. Look at this. Charge defense against all. Armor piercing, armor shielded, armor sundering, armor piercing weapon tanks. These guys are just going to eat up any heavily armored infantry very, very easily. So Dawe, Dark Elf, Empire, it's going to get chopped up. Khorne's followers are warriors without exception, if only in mind than in occupation. His followers build no temples, but rather worship him on the battlefield. Devote time to building temples rather than fighting for something would more likely incur Khorne's wrath than please him. So a lot of Khorne influence here, as it should be. Look at this guy. Hello. What's wrong with your face? This guy's a fake. Look, he doesn't have any... Yeah, this guy's an imposter. Anyway. And here we go. A different god. Plague warriors of Nurgle. Armour shielded, anti-infantry, charge defence and poison attack. These guys are exceptionally good. Exceptionally good infantry. Obviously they're a variety of chaos warriors but with poison attacks. But charge defence against all. Nurgle is the god of plague, despair, disease and death. And his gift to his followers with poxies and boils, rashes and sores, transforming them lethal bearers of death and decay. Yeah, they are vicious looking bastards. Okay, and there's another variety. Chosen of Nurgle. These are basically the dual weapon versions of these guys. Poison attacks, these are incredible. I mean, they are just going to rip up infantry. As Chaos should though, let's be entirely clear here. You know, when you look at the normal races, you'd probably have to say the Dawi should probably have the heaviest sort of standard infantry when you've not got like the Ogres or something. But when you include Chaos into the mix, well, they're Chaos. The Chosen of Slaanesh. Armour shielded, damage dealer, melee expert, charge defense. All these guys are the easily heavily armoured than the rest of what we've seen. Maybe slightly not as good hitters, but they've got magic attacks and frostbite. Slaanesh is the chaos god of twisted pleasure, perverted passion and lust. Slaanesh is the weakest of the gods, so his favourite trick is to steal champions from other gods with his irresistible beauty. Well, we like you. And there's another variety. Dark Prince Warriors, armoured, armour piercing, damage dealing. Look at the lovely sort of purple as well. Charge defense. Charge defense is always a bit random for these units, but I suppose it's just to make them even more epic. And I think these guys will have the same description. Oh no, they don't. Champions of Slaanesh are renowned for their grace and glamour. At the same time, they are also vicious, merciless fighters who can attack with an astonishing speed and grace, and can seduce enemies with lustful promises. Apart from the fact they're really slow, that is very cool. And they should be slow. Look out for the armoured there. Okay, we've got Chosen of Zeke. Armoured shielded, damage dealer, melee expert, charge defense skill. Very comparable to the other units, but with slightly different, you know. These have got flaming and magical attacks. These might be good against vampire counts or Tomb King units. They look very cool actually with their sort of rapier swords. What does it say? Tzeentch is a great sorcerer, the god of magic and the master of mutable time stream. He is already known as the changer of the ways, the one who can direct the fate of the universe. Tzeentch's chosen are powerful sorcerers. There we go. Okay, so there's our infantry. As expected, generally extremely heavy humanoid type infantry. No demons yet. Chaos Dwarf Riflemen. Awesome. Armour shielded, armour piercing, decent melee cover. Fairly comparable to Thunderers. Dominion of the Chaos Dwarfs is slow expanding power, which is with grinding calculated savagery, carved itself a realm from one of the most deadly lands. Chaos Dwarf Riflemen. Followed by Chaos Dwarf Crossbowmen. Again, they look awesome. I think these are actually the Dawi dwarves, so they must be interchangeable. Armour, good range, decent melee combatant. Maybe not quite as good as Quarrelers, but very good. The influence of Chaos has worked terrifying on the traditional dwarf values of stubborn determination, craftsmanship, and industry have been twisted into perverted mockery into the hearts of the Chaos. Okay. We have a few cavalry over here. We have Kurgan mounted hunters. Just the mounted hunter variety. And these are the nomadic warriors. Very early on cavalry, but they do pack a little bit of punch with that armour as well. We have Blood God cavalry. These guys are insanely strong. You know, these... I put these up against Grail Knights, which are, I think, the best anti-large cavalry in the game. Them or the Blood Knights. I think the Grail Knights do beat Blood Knights. Whether they should is a different question. But these guys would probably, even though the fact they're not anti-large, do very well in combat, shall we say, against them. These guys are the epitome of heavy Chaos cavalry. It's a shame they couldn't have bigger mounts, but I think that's limitations. Asset sets, armour shielded, armour piercing, damage dealing cavalry. The earth trembles, the air smells of blood, the screams of terror and pain fill the valleys. Escape, Khorne Knight's coming, pray with me for a quick and painless death. Beautiful. Okay, we've got Chaos mounted warriors, Javelins. I can only imagine these are the most heavily armoured, mounted, ranged attackers there is in the game. They obviously have very little range, but they also have very good armour. And these guys are more than capable. Look at these stats in melee combat. They don't have huge weapon strength, but they're heavily armoured. And they're just Chaos Knights that can throw javelins. It's insane. God knows about the lore of that, but why not? And Flesh Hounds of Khorne. These are sort of a variety of the dire wolves. Damage dealer, melee expert, very fast and scaly skin. Brutal and fast beasts, also known as Compets. Which is interesting, I was actually reading about these in some of the Gotrek and Felix novels the other day. Vicious little bastards, and quite a good asset set there as well. Okay, let's do our standard. And attack. Okay, let's get good old Colic up here. I'll get you around there. Marauder Horseman. Probably not the best map in the world to do a charge scene, as there is a massive giant hill. Look at Colic though, look at him go. It's a pity he's not that good in the game, honestly. But he is beautiful. Very beautiful indeed. Okay, Colic, let's see you. Let's see you charge, shall we? Not bad. Maybe not quite as good as some of the nice Tomb King charges we got the other day. Okay, some nice charges there. Flesh Hounds of Khorne are going through. It's a pretty epic scene. What's the Cavalry? Cavalry's already in there. Okay, let's see how some of these kills are going. These guys should probably outkill anything we've seen.
The eye opens. Khorne's bloody glory.
Nothing too crazy yet. Blood God Cavalry are gonna annihilate everything in there, I think.
Marauder horsemen! Nurgle's pestilent glory.
It's Colic doing actually Twitch stream. Actually, you know what? These guys, I suppose a lot of these are armour piercing rather than just anti-infantry. They're not doing amazingly well though. Although everything is crumbling, so I suppose it doesn't really matter too much. Blood God Cavalry are just destroying in there. Best infantry units look like Chaos Dwarf Warriors. You can never tell because of the way it charges. Probably the Chosen Nurgle will do the best. It's all about that Blood God Cavalry though. They've actually lost a unit though, which is a bit mad. Could be from our own units though. Anyway, thanks for joining. Do remember to check out the Radious mod. Remember these mods are free, so you don't feel like you have to stick to one. It's definitely the best unit mod out there, Radious, and obviously it does all the campaign overhaul stuff as well. So check it out, descriptions will be below, and I will see you for the next video.